going to get cold. We're talking about global warming. We are going to get cold, really, really cold. But it continues to escalate and escalate. And in verse 13, an angel flies in the midst of heaven saying, "Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound." So we got three more trumpets to sound. And then there are woes. And we hear of the bottomless pit being opened. And what can only be demonic creatures coming out of this bottomless pit. Their tails like scorpions with stings, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And this is all, it says here, and you know, we didn't repent. People are being killed by these three last woes. A third part of men were killed by the fire, the smoke, and by the brimstone which issues out of the mouths of these demonic locusts coming out of the bottomless pit. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. Their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the work of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see nor hear nor talk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. So what's the purpose of the day of the Lord? It's to get people to change their lifestyle, to acknowledge that God is God and stop doing these abominable things. But in spite of the punishments that are coming, it tells us clearly, this is in Revelation 9, but the men did not change, yet repented not. So it's not just a matter of punishment for punishment's sake. There's a reason behind it. It just goes on and on. And several earthquakes are mentioned, at least 4. In Revelation 11:13, and the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and was slain of men 7,000. That's in Jerusalem. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And then you reach down to chapter 16, and then we got 7 more plagues. The vials, the vile plagues. And the first one poured out his vial upon the earth. There fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast. We're so rebellious that we, instead of trusting God and serving Him and having His seal on us, we're going to have the mark of the beast, because they're going to tell us we can't buy or sell without this. But they're going to be hit. The people with the mark of the beast are going to have a sore hit them. It's going to be so horrific that they're all going to be screaming out. Then we have the second angel pour out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul in the sea, every living soul died in the sea. So we had a third dying before, so it's escalating. You can see that gradual escalating, trying to say, repent, repent, repent. No, let's continue doing our own thing. But this time, when this angel poured out his vial, the entire ocean becomes like the blood of a dead man, and everything in it dies. That's the second angel. The third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of water, and they became blood. So we got the sea that's blood, we got water that's blood. Oops, what are we going to drink? What are we going to drink? And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and wast and shall be, because thou hast judged us. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. Revelation 16 verse 8, continuing, the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. So a little while ago we found that the sun was going to be darkened by a third, the moon by a third, the stars by a third. Now suddenly, from being in that cold environment, the heat turned up. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat. And did they repent? Of course not. They blasphemed the name of God which had power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and the kingdom was full of darkness now. Heat, then darkness. And you know, in Exodus, we read about the darkness that descended on the Egyptians when they wouldn't let the Israelites go. It was a darkness that could be felt. Nobody dared move out of their place. We're not just talking about a little bit of darkness. We're talking about a strange darkness. And a darkness that was frightening. Absolutely terrifying. So much so that here we are told that the people are going to gnaw their tongues for pain. So it's not just, oh, it's got dark, they're going to be in pain. So they're going to be biting their own tongues. That bad. But what did they do? They blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. You see, over and over we see, what's God trying to do? Get people to repent. He was nicey to everybody, you know, all the time. He blessed them, you know, the chocolates and champagne, you know, the easy life, nothing. The flowers, nothing. The roses, nothing. Abundant life, nothing. Instead, we just became worse and worse and worse and worse. So now he has no choice now. He goes the other way now. Well, let's smack him. We give him one smack, two smacks, three smacks, and we just became worse and worse. And this is on the Lord's Day. You can see the nonsense about the Lord's Day being Sunday. If only it was as short as a Sunday. This goes on for 3.5 years. This is a very long Lord's Day. You know, and then it goes on and on. You know, I just recommend you read it for yourself.